Hey there, everyone. It's me, Matthew. Welcome back to another ministry update. It's been a little while since we've had one. COVID sort of threw me for a loop when I started making these, but I'm back at it again, so get excited and let's get started. Because it's been so long, we got to start way back in March, I guess. Back in March, COVID hit and all these restrictions are being put in place, and our children's ministry and youth ministry got shut down. And we sort of had to turn the ship. We had been focusing on how to equip families to be healthy families following Christ, and we just needed to shift our focus just a little bit because we couldn't meet in person anymore. Much like the rest of the world, turn to social media. I think it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. One, you can reach all these people with the content that you make. At the same time, keep it very localized with groups and pages and things like that. We made this Okinawa Families page where we would put up weekly family devotional videos that we tried to make the best of our ability. Mind you, we're noobs and we're not experts at all at this. We tried to make them in a way that they could be simple, easy, but engaging to the point where kids would want to watch them and parents would be able to expound upon and think about the topics and talk to their kids about it. That's what we tried to do for the first little bit of the pandemic. The first little bit, that's what we tried to do as a team here with the other Cadence missionaries. I took the lead on most of the producing and editing and shooting aspects of those videos, mainly because I have an interest in it and I really enjoyed doing it. Learned a lot from those first few videos. If you go back and watch them, you'll see, hopefully you'll see an improvement. I think I've improved. I have no idea. You can be the judge of it. But if you go back to those old ones, you might be able to see a difference, hopefully. So we started out with those family devotionals, and then we moved. We saw our audience respond to wanting more kid-friendly videos with us in them. So we moved more to telling Bible stories and acting out the Bible stories and being silly and ridiculous, but still giving truth from the Bible. And those videos you can also see. I'll link all of them in the description below. And another interesting thing, during that beginning part of COVID, I became the social media expert. What? Me? Oof, let me tell you. I'm not a very good social media person, but I knew more about live streaming on Facebook and things like that than other people and the chaplains, and so I became the social media expert. I did a lot of video watching and I did a lot of article reading, and I learned quickly on how to do things in Facebook world. So it was a lot of fun thinking about all of those things and learning them. Definitely didn't think I was going to be labeled that though. Yeah, when we first started, we had this makeshift studio. We had comforters up to dampen the noise because we did it in our cafe, and it was this whole ragtag. Like, if I had a picture, I should have took a picture. I'm sure there's one out there. I will find it and show you what it looked like. It was all this like ragtag put together, but it was functional and it worked, and we were able to do ministry and reach the community for Christ, which was pretty cool. At the same time as all this was happening, I was doing the live streaming and figuring out that, but we soon realized we didn't have enough bandwidth to support live streaming here at the youth center. So we foregoed that and started pre-recording worship and sermons throughout the week and posting them as a premiere on Facebook. And that's been going well. We've been doing that since March. Since May, because we tried the live streaming thing. Fast forward a little bit, summer came. Normally our big event in summer is VBS, but as you may have guessed, with COVID restrictions, that was nixed from happening in person, which makes sense. A large group of kids, probably as kids do, touching each other, playing tag, giving high fives, fist bumps, whatever. Not the best thing to do in the middle of a pandemic. So we got tasked with doing virtual VBS. We made a 3-day virtual VBS. Also, linked in the description. You can go check it out, use it for yourselves if you want to, or not, your choice. It's pretty funny. Definitely put all the skills I had been learning over the past couple months to the test. It was difficult, to say the least. From producing, making sure all the shots were there, editing, mashing it all together. There's a lot to go into it. Go check it out. It was a lot of fun. We also were able to start chapel back up, but with COVID restrictions, everybody's social distance, masks on. At the beginning, there was no singing. It was sort of sad, but at the same time, it was what we needed in the moment, because we were able to gather together and worship. Even though we weren't able to sing, we were there together with other believers, and I think that's important to do. So we did that. Children's ministry hadn't been able to start because there's a lot of information going around about the most susceptible and whatnot, and at the time, the chaplains and the Marine Corps, I guess, didn't want to risk an outbreak. So children's ministry, youth ministry was off the table for a little while. Come September, October, we were able to start back youth groups and start back children's churches and Awana. It was so good to see the kids because the time where we didn't have children's ministry, we didn't see a lot of families returning to chapel, and it was a sad day. It was a sad day not seeing them come back because there was nothing for their kids, nothing to engage their kids with. They could come and see the sermon and hear the sermon, but it wasn't focused for them, It wasn't special to them at their level. And that transition between having no children's ministry at the chapel to having children's ministry at the chapel, it definitely made me realize that it's important. It's important to have a children's ministry, to have something focused for kids, and to have it available for them. So it was sort of like a moment God was like, hey, I know this has been a tough season, or you're still worth it to be here. Which was welcome, because this past few months, I guess it's more than past several months now. It's been tough for me mentally, but maybe we'll get to that later in another video or this one. I don't know. So fast forward to today, Awana is back up and running, children's ministry back up and running. Awana, though, changed drastically, I guess, from the way we've done it in the past. We had to move to a more family style where families are in pods at Awana, so that we didn't have a whole bunch of kids running around, spreading germs and whatnot. We have made this change to try to have Awana be more of a focus on making parents the best disciplers of their kids that they can. So we've shortened it to an hour. We have the handbook time where we've challenged the parents and the kids to both memorize scripture, and we've sort of put them against each other, parents, kids, see who can memorize the most. And then we have game time, normal game time, well, not normal game time, COVID restriction game time, which has been pretty fun. And then the biggest change is Bible story time, where we have changed it from just an interactive Bible story to more of a discussion-based Bible story time, where we discuss a passage and we pick out certain topics from there that the parents can then discuss with their kids right there in the story time portion of our Awana. It's definitely different than normal Awana, but I think it's going to be better in the end. Only time will tell, I guess. We've been at it for about a month, and I think we've just started to get into a groove, and I think the families that are coming are enjoying it. If you want to know more about that, leave a comment below asking me questions about it, and I'll be more than willing to answer them. I wanted to take you on a journey with me now to see the new studio, because I think it would be fun to show you. I've got this is the background that we normally shoot on. Here it's a whole bunch of different cubes, I guess. I'm not really sure what you'd call them, but they're back there. We've got fancy lights, I guess. Call them softboxes. We've upgraded from the beginning. We've got some noise canceling panels on the wall. As you can see, it's still a work in progress here on the wall. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun learning all of this and doing it. This is where the chaplains and any video that we make, I'm getting used to the handheld version here, and it's been quite a blast. So that was all information in a short amount of time, but a long amount of time. So if you have any questions about anything that I talked about, please feel free to ask in the comments below. Send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. There's a lot of stories that happened that I couldn't share in this video that I'm gonna share in next more videos. So please stay tuned. We're also gonna do a family update, letting you know how the girls are doing, how Sarah's doing, how I'm doing. So be on the lookout for that as well. I love you, I miss you, and I can't thank you enough. And if you stayed this far, congratulations. The mustache, not real. Fun fact, still can't grow facial hair. I'll see you next time.